Right, I think I am back. I think I am back. See, am I streaming? Attempt 2, this is what I'm trying to do. Let's go back one. Connect streaming to go live. OBS has crashed on me. Right, I'm just going to risk it. I think it should be live again. Let's give it a refresh. No, that's not the one that I'm looking for in any case. This is the one that I'm hoping is working. Yes, okay, we are back. Okay then, so I just need to pop out that chat and take it onto there so I can see it again. Brilliant. Right, thank you. Let's get some work done. Right, let's bring up Premiere Pro. I'm a bit of an Adobe fanboy when it comes to things.
Campaign, or do you just use the default setting? Let me know in the comments below.
Okay, so this is how the magic happens. So, oh, hang on, I've got another.
In our actual play videos, which is about the Queen of the Harpies, that I am going to implement it as a play test to see how it works out. So the first part of it is that I really do think the casting of spells should take their time.
Right, this sounds all fine.
And would have to do the usual things to get rid of it. Now, in order to reflect the difficulty of casting spells, folk magic would be an easy roll, while sorcery would be a standard roll. However, with the sorcery spells, each 2 elements that are altered by shaping, i.e. say range and number of targets, this would increase the difficulty grade of that willpower check by 1. So if the sorcerer was using shaping points to change 2, they're going to use their devotion pool to fuel that spell.
I think the rank, Robert, is left over from RuneQuest. I think it's from when it was almost like used for RuneQuest, and that's where it's sort of like left over from. I don't think it's actually. Oh, do you mean where it says filter by rank? Is that one that you're looking at, where it says filter by rank and it says rabble, novice, etc.? And what I generally find is that there's it's to do with the overall skills. Of the monsters, but it's not actually in the rule book or anything like that. I just use it as a rough guide. Yeah, so if you if I see something like rabble, and I think the skills are quite low in that one, I don't think there's an exact an exact transform from one to the other. I think roughly with rabbles, their skills tend to be in the 20s, and then it gradually moves up from there. That's what I sort of like use as a ballpark in any case. So it's literally just like a bit of guidance for you.
3, 2, 1. Now, before you all start typing in the comments, there's one other additional exception to this proposed rule. In our campaign, we use fatigue in combat, so after 2 or 3 rounds, players or characters need to make an endurance check to avoid 1 level of fatigue. Now, if casters were in combat casting spells, then I would not ask them to make this roll, mainly because they would be gaining fatigue from casting the spells, and that seems to be a reasonable payoff. And let's face it, we don't want them to be asleep for the whole adventure.
Output, comma. Okay, what's this one? Okay, so this one here is that I actually record a whole load of pictures ready for the thumbnail. So all this is a whole load of poses for the thumbnail that I can sort of like capture. So I might use that one. I quite like that one, but that's all that is.
3, 2, 1, and that's it. So do let me know in the comments below what you think about my idea, whether you think. I hope all your opposed rolls are successful and award you with a well-deserved special. Thanks for listening, everyone. Happy role playing. See ya. Bye.
Okay, and that's it. And then I've got some vertical videos to play with as well, that I'm going to cut that off, so hopefully. Hi Michael, greetings from Germany. What's it like in Germany? We've got a bank holiday here because of the Queen's funeral. It's the Queen's funeral here. So these are just random clips that I'm going to put in throughout the video. So I had a question. Me and my friend are trying to find what exactly it's used for. We know it's used for, but I don't see anything in the rules for bracing against attacks charges is in the combat section of the. If that's what you say, it's in the combat section of the rule book. Let me just find it. If that's what you're referring to. It's under charging. On page 102, that's where that is. Engagement range. Is it used to keep engagement, or is that something I missed? There is rules for reach, if that's what you're talking about. So generally, each weapon has a reach. Raid day, have to work, but listen. Oh, fantastic, lovely. Thank you for that. So each weapon has a reach, and what this allows people to do is to keep opponents away from them. So each weapon has a reach, and these rules only come into play when there's a difference of 2 between the 2 sets of reaches. So if somebody's sort of like short and somebody's long reach, then that's 2, and then so these rules come into existence, but they are optional. So if I was fighting with a dagger against somebody with a long spear, then to start off with, my little dagger cannot hit that person. So any damage I do to the weapon. Okay, and that's it. But the person with the spear can actually do damage to the person that they're keeping at that reach. But there is a combat special that allows the attacker to come to a closer combat range, which actually decreases that distance. So if I was fighting with my dagger and I got a combat special, I could close range, which means I step away from the point and into more where the shaft is. I can now hit the person, but the person with the long spear can only damage me with their shaft now, with the wooden part, which tends to be about 1d4, 1d6 points of damage, 1d4 normally. So they can't use the end. So it's very effective. If you're charging to somebody with carrying a halberd or a long spear, initially they're just going to get prodded by the spear until you get a combat special to move closer in, and then you can go past that. If you're near enough as a cannot, yes, exactly. So you can step into that. Now, I know the rule, but I've never actually used it at all. The only time that I feel that I do use it a bit is if they're coming against somebody with a breath weapon, because of course they have to step in, or there's somebody with like a giant with a big weapon, you know, because they're going to have to. I do like the idea of Balterby, who's the theist in our campaign. His group of theists do his religion. They have different ranks, and he's a protector, which means that he never actually does damage in combat, but he's used to parry and protect the others and slow them down. And that'd be really good because he has a staff. He could swing it backwards and forwards and almost like keep people at range. And the idea in the church is that the other people are running for cover and the defenders are keeping people at bay. So that's when I would use it. Yeah. I mean, Mythras is set up very much for realistic and ancient combat, I think, and that's one of the reasons I love it. So I'm actually putting together a video about
okay, you are that high class sorcerer flinging rack spells all over the place, laughing as you fuel your spells with magic points. But magic comes at a cost. So what happens when your magic points reaches 0? Then what will you be doing, mighty sorcerer?
Okay, so let's put the first click in here.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is one of those short rules.
So this is my next pass of my clips, and what I'm doing now is trying, rather than just leaving everything sort of like stationary, I'm going to try to add a bit of movement to it, which helps with retention. So if you've got a YouTube, you are rated on your subscribers, but you're also rated, you have analytics about your watch time, how long people watch your videos for, and also this idea of retention, how long through they actually go through. So what we try to do as an editor is try to keep things visually engaging on the actual video. So to try to keep your attention as we move through. So just here, when I say
Heal your spells with magic points, but magic comes at a cost. So what happens when your magic points reaches 0?
So I'm thinking round here.
Magic points, but
on that but, I'm going to cut the frame, and then here I'm going to increase the scale of it. So I sort of like come in a little bit closer.
Your spells with magic points.
Whoops.
But magic...
I did the wrong one there. It's this one that I need to do.
As you fuel your spells with magic points. But magic comes at a cost. So what happens when your magic points reaches 0? Then what will you be doing, mighty sorcerer? Hello and welcome.
So just here,
magic points reaches 0.
So here I'm just going to pop over to Pixabay. So Pixabay is a free, loyalty-free site that you can get pictures, etc. on. And what I was looking for is a little sign, a little signal that I could use to add to the actual picture. So I'm just downloading it now. I think I found a bit on setting the it was a single at the end of just allows the setter to change, because they brace themselves. That's what they do. They brace for impact, and so they so it actually allows them to do a little bit more damage. I think in your campaign you're likely to have a lot more of that because of your setting. In my campaign we don't have things like that. I mean, they can't even ride horses in my campaign, so I don't think they're going to. Well, some of them can't ride horses at all, so we're not actually up to that sort of like charging into combat. But I can see it happening, and it should be quite brilliant. So what I'm doing here, so you can't see all this at the moment because I'm flicking between several programs. I've got an empty and a fuel gauge. I'll show you it in a second. I've got a fuel gauge, a petrol fuel gauge. And what I'm doing is just altering it at the moment so that the actual fuel gauge has a magic hat in it. I'm trying to replicate the overall Westeros feel. Yeah, and I think it will Mythras will do that extremely well for you. I really do. I think it has that potential to really be fantastic for that sort of thing. Right, so what I'm actually doing now, which sounds completely strange, is that I'm actually painting out a fuel gauge. I want a hard edge brush for this. I don't want a fuzzy one. You'll see the finished image in just 1 second. I've nearly done it. So I think this is always the interesting thing. You very rarely see sort of like the full what I do off screen to get a finished video up and running. In my campaign, I took the Hydra and the Daedra from, oh yeah, Elder Scrolls Online. I love that game. I actually played that game. I played the online version of it, not the MMO version of it. That's what I use. Right. So you're about to see what I've just created now. I'm just going to start off. I'm going to make a new bin, but I'm not going to make it in that one. I'm going to make it in this one. So Adobe has this weird thing that they call folders, bins, and then I am going to import the graphic that I've just created, which is this one. And then let's see where that can go.
Okay, you are that high-class sorcerer flinging rack spells all over the place, laughing as you fuel your spells with magic points. But magic comes at a cost. So what happens when your magic points reaches 0?
So here I'm going to bring in the graphic that I've just made. Clip it off to there. Let me just zoom in here a bit. Extend that. So this is the graphic that I've just made here. And I'm just going to increase it a bit. We're going to drag it over and up to there.
Points reaches 0. Then what will you be doing, mighty sorcerer? Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is one of those short rules video when I take a rule from the Mythras rule set and explain it in a little bit more detail.
Okay, I'm going to make another bin if I can. Yeah, call this one assets. I'm going to open my assets, and then I have a template file that I use all the time, and within that asset file it has a whole load of things that I use over and over again. So things like my end screen, etc. is all in there. And the other thing that I have in here is the subscribe bit. So
if you found this or any of the videos on my channel supportive, then please do consider liking.
So here we're going to bring this in. So this is going to come in here, but you can probably see it's absolutely tiny. It's absolutely tiny, and the reason it's tiny is because I actually created that when I was doing 1920 by 1080 high definition, and now this video is in 4K, so it's what, in 3860. I think it's, hang on a minute, it's up on my board. 3840 by 2160. So I've moved up, but what I can do is go to it and say scale to frame, and then it'll put it in the right position for me.
Consider liking, commenting and subscribing. It really does help my channel grow and gets the information about the wonderful rule set that is Mythras out to more people. And if you'd like
Okay.
And if you'd like to directly out to more people.
So we're going to cut it there, and then I'm going to change this, and we're going to
And if you'd like
come in a bit.
to directly support the channel, then there is a
And then I'm just going to my my browser window, which is here, and I'm just looking for the super thanks icon. That's what I'm looking for. And so I can hopefully download this, but it doesn't seem to have, it doesn't seem to sort of like have the basic icon anywhere, which seems to be absolutely stupid. I might have to clip it from somewhere. Never mind, I'll pick it up later.
super fan button down there. I think it's a little dollar sign in a little heart, yeah, so you can press that and donate directly.
Okay, so now we're going into the main video. So this is a page turn. It's just rendering out the little bits now for the page turn. So this allows me to then see it in action.
Okay, you are that high class sorcerer.
Let's see where we're up to. So we're going, that's the zoom in, and then we move to this.
Donate directly. Oh, and if you stay right the way to the end of this video, I want to share with you what my perfect rule for casting spells and magic points and what should happen with you then. Okay then, so let's get on with the video. What actually happens when your magic point reaches 0? So,
okay, page turn here.
So in the default
okay then, so what I need now, I'm going to go back to my graphic folder, and I'm going to bring up I've actually got an image of the like the Mythras rules I need it. I tell you what's really strange now. If you type in Mythras rules, I think I'm on like every single page. There's just a picture of me on it. So I'm just going to save this into the graphics part of my. It's most off-putting when you search for something and you just see your face all over the place. So here.
So
what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to bring in that graphic that I've just downloaded. I'm going to bring that into there, and then I'm going to bring it across so it matches there, so you can see it now. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take that, I'm going to increase it, and I'm going to move it over to one side. And then what I'm going to do is then take my video and move me over to one side.
Okay then, so let's get on with the video. What actually happens when your magic point reaches 0? So in the default Mythras game, when a character reaches 0 magic points, then the character basically cannot cast any more spells, mainly because they have no power to fuel them. But if you're thinking like I often do, that casting spells and magic must take immense physical...
Okay then, so here I'm going to now bring in some of my other clips. Hey Matt. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, that's what it is. Just type in Mythras rules, and it's just like a picture of me everywhere. It's most off-putting. It really is most off-putting. Okay then, so this is the bit when we're talking about it should make us tired and things like this. Right. So what I do now is this.
I often do, that casting spells and magic must take...
Okay, so here what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to take this clip from there. I'm acting tired like that. Okay. Kill the out point there. I'm just dragging the video of it over by itself, and then I'm going to right click on it and set it right. I'm going to increase this a bit, increase it like that. That's what I'm going to do. I'm then going to apply I'm going to apply a black and white so these are all within something like that. Yeah, isn't it? And then what I'm going to do now, because I've got all this spare real estate, and it was my mistake this, I actually filmed it in vertical. So 9 by 16 rather than horizontal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat. And I'm actually going to use a graphic to black out all the behind the scenes. Okay, so this I'll still have a look at it and see what it does.
Spells and magic.
You can hear me and the video, can't you? You can do that, I'm assuming.
Take immense physical and mental strain on the body, then if that sorcerer or magician is using all those points, then surely it has to have some effect on their body.
Okay, so here we're going to I'm going to click it here because I know what's coming up, and we're going to increase this like that. Thank you, Matt.
Effect on their body. And don't call me Shirley.
Okay, so that part of the clip, there's too much of a weight there. So what I'm going to... So if I extend this track here, this is the audio track. Can you see I talk there? Because I can see from the audio track. So what I'm going to do is drag it to there.
And don't call me Shirley.
Okay, but now I've got that gap there. But remember, I've got all this all next to it. But Adobe does a wonderful thing that if I click there to make it white, if I now delete that, it shunts everything that way immediately, which is absolutely fantastic. I think there might be too much of a pause here as well.
Body. And don't call me Shirley. So
okay, so this part now needs to be clipped out as well. So we'll get rid of that, move it along.
On their body. And don't call me Shirley. Sorry, that's an old joke, but do let me know in the comments if you got it. Well,
okay then, so I feel that I need to do something different here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to move these out a bit. And I'm going to go to my graphics, I think it is. And let's just import some more of my graphics. Because I don't have all my graphics that I need in there at the moment. And I'm going to put this here. So this is my little black and white telly. So what I'm going to do is increase the size of it, and I'm going to just put it slightly off center there, and then I'm going to take this clip now, and I'm going to reduce the size of it. I'm going to move it down here, and I'm going to put it virtually inside the telly. That's what I'm going to do. Now, the trick here is that I'm trying to put a rectangular clip into a virtual square. So once I hit Alt, I should be able to, oh no, I know what I need to do. I need to come in here, press crop, and drag this onto the clip, and then over on this side I can then start cropping the right in like that. Crop the left in. Oh, that's me top going in. Drag the left in like that. Okay. So now what I've got is that I've got the television.
Sorry, that's an old joke.
Okay, so can you see it's not positioned correctly? It needs to come over a bit because I'm not in the center of the telly. And then we just need to decrease that crop there.
But do let me know in the comments if you got it.
Okay, so what I need to do now is take that and move that up there and move that up there. And then I'm going to do this. So that's there. So that's there. And then what I'm going to do for this one, and this normally takes me a lifetime to actually be able to do. And I've read so much about this and I still can't get it right at all. What I'm going to say is insert hold segment. Okay, now what this should have done is put in a held piece of segment there. But this is what I honestly, I'll be doing this for ages now. Add frame hold. Sometimes it just takes it a while to actually do it. What I'm trying to do is get a hold frame at the end of this segment here. That's what I'm trying to do at the moment. Let's just I normally try to do it for oh look, I think has something appeared? Right, click. No, that's no good because I'm actually clicking on the I spend my life reading up on things. Insert hold segment. And I always think now then that should be it and I should have a hold segment in there, but I don't. I literally don't. And then I suddenly go off and do something else and I come back and I've got like 25 oh, hang on a minute, I know why it's not doing it. I actually know why it's not doing it because my play head is at the beginning. I think I've probably got a whole load of different.
Okay, you are that high-class sorcerer flinging rack spells all over the place.
I think my play head has to be here. I think maybe that do it. Let's just snap it there. Okay, fingers crossed everyone. Fingers crossed. Right click. Add insert hold segment. There, we've got it. Okay, so can you see that's me just... I say this, and then there's just a frame there. So what I could do now is take this and move that, hold that frame throughout, click there, delete that. So what we should have now, have I done it right?
Sorry, that's an old joke, but do...
Okay, so hang on, let's back up. I've done something wrong here. I think I need to bring... Is that my hold for... So what I need... I want to extend this hold frame. That's what we want.
Right, that's an old joke, but do let me know in the comments if you got it.
Okay, does that make sense with people now? Let me just run the whole sequence.
On their body. And don't call me Shirley. Sorry, that's an old joke, but do let me know in the comments if you got it. Well, if you want...
Okay, and then can you see we can clip a bit of this? I think that's when I say well.
Well, if...
Yeah. So we can get rid of that part and move it up.
Well, if...
Then here, let's put a transition in here. Do a center split, say.
Well, if you want to ensure that those spell wielding characters really do feel the strain, then in the core rulebook it does provide some alternatives to what will happen when the caster's magic points reach 0, and you can find that on page 117. So I'm
okay.
Want to ensure that those spell wielding characters really do feel the strain, then in the core strain,
I'm going to cut it there. I am going to, if I can find it, V takes me back to my select. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste that there. I'm going to take that me positioning and I'm going to move me over to one side.
Really do feel the strain, then in the core rulebook it does provide some alternatives to what will happen when the caster's magic points reach 0.
Okay, and then here I'm just going to move up to this video track here. I'm going to go to essential graphics. I'm going to add some text. What page number was it?
When the caster's magic points reach 0, and you can find that on page 117.
117. Okay, nice. 117. Okay, we now Control A all of that, and then here we go into the font that I like to use, which is called Sign Language Bold. Okay, and we increase it a bit like so, and then we put purple on it. And just to let you know, so I have all my codes written down for my colors. So purple is 6. Hang on, let's get rid of all those. 6, 1, 3, 2, B, 3. And then we put a stroke on the end of it. Increase that a bit. And then we can move that, and I think we'll put it up there. Okay, I'm going to bring it on slightly earlier so it's on the screen for Control S is to save, and let's look at what we've got now.
Early. Sorry, that's an old joke, but do let me know in the comments if you got it. Well, if you want to ensure that those spell wielding characters really do feel the strain, then in the core rulebook it does provide some alternatives to what will happen when the caster's magic points reach 0. And you can find that on page 117. So I'm not going to give you all the alternatives here in minute detail. I'm just going to summarize them here so you can get a little bit of an idea and then go off and use the rule book later. Okay then, first up, fatigue.
Okay, we're going to bring in a page turn here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it, I'm going to bring it down to this track, I'm going to paste it in there, and I'll bring it down a bit, and this now is going to say, oops, fatigue. I bet, do people realize how much actually goes into making a video or not? I'm really interested whether or not you sort of like think, yeah, I knew all this happened, or whether or not you're thinking, good grief, I am never going to make videos ever again. Right, let's see.
So with the default system, once the caster has 0 magic points, the casting of those spells is not allowed anymore. However, with this alternative, it is. So a character can actually cast spells without having any magic points, i.e. going to negative magic points. So what happens in this example or this alternative is that as the caster uses up almost like negative magic points, it starts to feel the strain, and then it gains a level of fatigue for each point that it goes below 0. Now, there is a slight alternative to this rule as well,
So this bit is too long. I'm going to have to do something in this bit because it's just far too long with no movement in or anything.
Well as getting 1 level of fatigue, they also take 1 hit point of damage to all their hit points locations for every magic point that they go below 0. Yep, that could easily mean that the magic user or the caster is going to take a major wound eventually and could actually end up killing themselves.
Okay, so I actually know what I want to put in here from my my previous slots. So I want to take that.
Yep, that could easily that they go
Now I want this clip. Okay, we'll stop it there.
Take 1 hit point of damage to all their hit points locations for every magic point that they go.
Right, so this clip is wrong. I thought I'd cut that little bit off.
Below 0. Yep, that could easily to all their hit points locations for every magic point that they go below 0. Yep, that could easily mean that the magic user or the caster is going to take a major wound eventually and could.
Okay. So what I want to do with this video is that I want to what's it at 7? So if I do it to 50%, that should be 14, which will extend it a bit. It's going to put it into slow-mo.
Hit points locations for every magic point that they go below 0. Yep, that could easily mean that the magic user or the caster is going to take a major wound eventually and could actually end up killing themselves while casting.
Okay, that's good. So let's do bring in my color, bring in my black. This is what we need to do.
Damage to all their hit points locations for every magic point that they go below 0. Yep, that could easily mean that the magic user or the caster is going to take a major wound eventually and could actually end up killing themselves while casting. So at first
oh, that is so bad. That is so bad.
With the default system, once the caster has 0 magic points, no the casting of the spells is not allowed anymore. However, with this alternative, it is. So
okay.
It is.
So let's cut it there. It's not that bit that I want, it's this bit. Let's increase, let's bump it up a bit there to get a transition there.
Alternative it is. So a character can actually cast spells without having any magic points, i.e. going to negative magic points.
Okay, that's another natural break. So we can break it there and take that back down to 100.
So what happens in this example or this alternative is that as the caster uses up almost like negative magic points, it starts to feel the strain, and then it gains a level of fatigue for each point that it goes below 0. Now,
okay, so let's cut that. Let's bring that up to a little bit closer, and I'm going to stick a keyframe in there. So during this part to here, it's going to reduce. Here it's going to go down to 100. So now in this part here, let's see what it looks like altogether.
fatigue. So with the default system, once the caster has 0 magic points, no the casting of those spells is not allowed anymore. However, with this alternative, it is. So a character can actually cast spells without having any magic points, i.e. going to negative magic points. So what happens in this example, or this alternative, is that as the caster uses up almost like negative magic points, it starts to feel the strain, and then it gains a level of fatigue for each point that it goes below 0. Now, there is a slight alternative to this rule as well, that as well as getting 1 level of fatigue, they also take 1 hit point of damage to all their hit points locations for every magic point that they go below 0. Yep, that could easily mean that the magic user or the caster is going to take a major wound eventually, and could actually end up killing themselves while casting. So
how bad is that? Oh, that is so bad. Oh, I honestly don't believe that. Oh dear. Right. I'm going to have to do something flashy here, because I haven't thought about this really. But I need to go and grab a drink. So this is the only way I'm going to be able to do it. Right, I'm off to go and grab a drink, and then I'll be right back. So occupy yourselves for a while. There'll be no music or anything. It's going to be so tacky. It's going to be unbelievable. See you later, Michael. Thank you for popping in. I do appreciate it. Right, let's see if we can get this back on. I'm getting a little bit cold today. I'm just eating an orange as well. Okay.
First, I was completely against this. The idea of going below negative hit magic points was completely alien to me. But
Okay. Natural break.
But the hero completely alien to me. But
Right, just take that. I think that peak there is the but.
completely alien to me. But
No, it's not. It's just after it. Okay, cut here. One thing I would say to people
the hero
is definitely
does
use
actually
keyboard shortcuts.
enjoy this idea that a spellcaster can have a last-ditch attempt at casting spells, saving the party, or even killing the monster that they're battling. Casting the last spell at the
Okay, so did you hear there was a natural break there as well? So we'll cut it there, and go to there and reduce it to 100.
Casting the last spell at the risk of their own life. Surely there is nothing as heroic as that.
Pause, because I know what's coming. Increase this.
And don't call me. No, I'll leave it there. So the next alternatives involve willpower and unconsciousness.
Okay then. So this is where we need some more text to come in. So this is the fatigue text here. So I'm just posting it in there. And then what we can do is just click into here and put willpower and unconscious. Ooh. And we probably have to separate it out like this. Have I spelt unconsciousness right? Okay, so this I'm wondering whether or not I can do it like that. And then what we'll do is do that, I think. I think I actually want to have that and in, and then we can move it or do something, decrease the size of it a bit more. Like so. Okay, that's good.
Yes. So the first one is really quite straightforward. Once you reach 0 magic points, the character falls unconscious. It just passes out on the floor and is either eaten by the approaching monster or is left to block the exit so the rest of the party can escape. The second option in this section brings in a willpower skill check. So once the caster reaches 0 magic points, there is a willpower check made, and if it's failed, then the caster falls unconscious. Now, if they stay awake, i.e. if they succeed the roll, then they can continue to cast spells below 0 magic points. However, each time they cast another spell, they have to make a further willpower check, with the difficulty grading increasing by 1 each time. So this seems like a nice combination of both options that I've mentioned in this section. They could continue to cast below into negative magic points, but there is a price.
I should have had my pop filter on there. Did you hear when I said price? Right. We're going to bring this clip. Where do I get these ideas from? I honestly... Oh, comedy value or what? Right, let's bring that in. And what we can do with that again is to make it so it actually fills the frame up. We can put it into slow-mo. Right, let's just grab the effects of that and move it up a bit like that. Get my black and white colouring on it. I mean, I could do another colour like that. I have huge amounts to choose from. We could sort of like have, that's just more, that's a sort of like a richer colour. There's some based like that, there's blue, there's iron, there's a whole range of them, but oh, hang on a minute, my mouse went off the page and onto my iPad. I just think it's nice when it goes, oh, there's green, but I really like it when it sort of like wipes out all the colour, because I just feel it's more, it makes it a little bit more abstract. I think that's the word I'm looking for. I just feel that it makes it, I don't like that. I like the darker one like that.
They could continue to cast below into negative magic points, but there is a price. Now, the final option, or the final alternative, is the most, well, harsh, in my opinion. And this...
Right, okay then. So this clip needs to go somewhere else.
By 1 each time. So this seems like a nice combination of both options that I've mentioned in this section.
Right, let's move this up to this part.
They could continue to cast below into negative magic points, but there is a price. Now, the final...
Okay.
Now, the price.
Right, so let's stop that there. Cut this, and let's come in really bold.
Now, the final option, or the final alternative, is the most, well, harsh, in my opinion. And this involves death. So what happens in this situation is that when the caster reaches 0 magic points, they need to make an endurance check, a bit like fatigue. However, if they fail, they die.
Stop. Okay. I'm going to bring in right, hang on. So this has sound attached to it. So what you can do is that if you right click on it, come on, right click, baby. Doesn't want to right click. You can oh sorry, that's control on a Mac. We can do that, and then we can take this down, add our noir. I actually feel that I want to... Can I take it down any? No. Okay. So what I'm going to do now as well, what I'm looking for, would you believe, on a different screen, is that I wanted an angel, because I wanted an angel fluttering by. Right, so this one do me fine. Let's download that. Let's bring it into the graphics section so I know where it is. Bear with me. That's it coming in. Okay, then go up to my assets. I know it's in graphics. And then import my angel. It's a bit of a rubbish angel. I might have to change it actually, because it... I didn't realise it had a transparent background. I wonder if I can find... Hang on, let me just go to Pixels, which is another free loyalty website. Angel. And I wonder whether or not we can find a nice video. That would be nice, wouldn't it? If we can find a nice video of a fluttering angel, but all I can find is women with wings on. Hang on, let's type in cartoon angel and see what we get. And of course, whenever I flick through them to see the cartoon angel, the ones that I always want is from iStock. Do you know what I mean? And I would have to pay for it. It's very clever how they do their advertising, I must say. I know a lot of people have they buy sort of like sets of they do like a purchase, and therefore once you've got a purchase, then you can actually, oh, hang on a minute, I found, okay, I found one. Oh no, that's iStock. Oh, I got so excited then. Is this free? Yes. Okay then, I am going to use this even if it kills me. Okay then, this might need a huge amount of playing around with, but it's going to work. It is going to work, even if it doesn't work, even if it takes me a lifetime to get it to work, it is going to work. Right, I'm going to take that off. I'm going to import it. And you'll see another one of my skills here, if you consider any of this skills at the moment. So we're going to import this video. Okay, and I'm going to bring it up onto my source window first. So I just bring across the fluttering wings. I'm going to bring it here. I'm going to increase it, and we're going to put it right. It's going to look out of place, but we're going to put it there. Okay, now what we're going to do now, and you'll be thinking, what? It's all green. So what we're going to do, we're going to call up an effect, and we're going to type in color, and there's a thing called color key, and I'm going to drag that onto it. I'm going to take this eyedropper, I'm going to click the green, and then I'm going to increase it like until I try to get off it like that. So what I'm going to do, just out of interest, I'm going to reposition it because I've just had a bit of an idea that we can do. So I'm going to start it here and trim it to there.
Now, I do think that this is rather harsh. First, it would mean that characters might as well just have one less magic point, because you'll never...
And then let me make sure I'm on the right one. So I want to put a keyframe in there. And then I want a keyframe in here. And I'm going to shift it. Like that. And the other thing that I'm going to do is here also I'm going to rotate it so it's like that. Okay, now the other thing I've just noticed, why does this is, can I bring these down at all? No. Okay, so that's naturally going to do that. So I'm just hitting return now, so it's going to render that red bit out. So it's rendering just that little bit. So therefore, when I play it back, it'll hopefully just go normally, and I'll be able to see it. Otherwise, it would be very jittery as it went across.
Okay, you are that high-class sorcerer flinging rack spell.
So let's play it from here.
0 magic points. They need to make an endurance check, a bit like fatigue. However, if they fail, they die. Now, I do think that this is rather harsh. First, it would mean that characters might as well just have 1 less magic point, because you're never ever going to use that.
Okay, so this I thought I had a stabilization there, but I don't. Okay then. I think what I'm going to do here, I think this bottom one is actually moving because it's actually a video file. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to zoom in. I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to control it and insert. Let's make sure that
Now,
okay.
I do
Oops. So what I'm trying to do is what I did on the last one. Right. Insert. Can you see it? Sometimes it does it. Sometimes it actually does it, and sometimes it just doesn't. Do you see what I mean? Right. Insert, add frame, hold. No. Is it because it's not quite at the end of that, do you think? Okay, so let's just pop it in the middle, because it doesn't really matter which bit we have. Oh, what's it done now? All right, so it's literally just added a massive one. That's all it's done. So let me just move that up there.
Now, I do think that this.
That's all right. We did it. And then we can just extend that right there like that, and there'll be no movement on it. Right, let's just render that quickly. See whether or not we can get that to actually work. What's my f-stop for on that?
Okay, you are that high-class sorcerer flinging rack spells all over the place. Magic points, they need to make an endurance check, a bit like fatigue. However, if they fail, they die. Now, I do think that this is rather harsh. First, it would mean that characters might as well just have one less magic point, because you're never ever going to use that last point unless there is an extreme situation and that you really need to, you know, cast a spell. And secondly, who would play a caster? You know, I think I still would, but I would probably go through a lot of casters within the course of the campaign, because every now and again I'm going, fail major, dead. That would be it. So those are the alternatives that are in.
Okay, let's zoom in on those.
The core rule book. Do you implement one of these into your campaign, or do you just...
Okay, so here I'm going to go into my essential graphics, and I'm going to go into the free ones here, and I'm going to put sub. There is one that I like in here that is free, I'm sure of it. Is it in oh, we can, this is the one that I want. This is the one that I want.
So those are the alternatives that are in the core rule book. Do you implement one of these into your campaign, or do you just use the default setting? Let me know in the comments below.
Okay, so let's extend that out.
Or do you just use the default setting? Let me know in the comments below.
Let's see what this looks like now.
So those are the alternatives that are in the core rule book. Do you implement one of these into your...
Okay, let's decrease the size of this slightly and move it along a bit and down a bit like that.
So those are the alternatives that are in the core rule book. Do you implement one of these into your campaign, or do you just use the default setting? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for staying right to this part.
There's a bit of a pause there. I don't know if you noticed it.
My retention.
There was definitely a pause there. Let's just zoom really close into the audio. Yeah, look.
Thank you.
So let's cut it off here. Click. Take that right through up to there, I think.
Thank you for staying right to this part.
I think I probably need to finish it just a little bit before.
You just use the default setting. Let me know in the comments below. thank you for staying right to this part of the video. It really helps me and my retention analytics, so I do really appreciate it. So what would be my perfect solution to depleting magic points? So
okay, so here I'm going to drag this one across,
and my retention.
Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to reduce the size of it to start off with. And here we're going to say here, we're going to say that, and let's see what these
and my retention analytics, so I do really.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is change these to our own colors. So this one's going to be the purple that we used on before, so that's 631 2B3, that'll turn it to purple. And then this one here, which is currently white, we are going to change it to the orange FFA 41A and pop that on there. So this is to signify that there's going to be bonus content now.
Helps me and my retention analytics, so I do really appreciate it. So what would be my perfect solution to depleting magic points?
Right, so there's a cut V, and we're going to increase this.
So I have to say at this point, I haven't implemented this yet, but there is a situation about to occur in our actual play videos, which is about the Queen of the Harpies, that I am going to.
Okay, now then, something else I want to bring in here. This one. Oh, I think this is going to do the whole video, which is not what I want. No, cancel that. I thought this had I always think this one doesn't have a background, but I think it does actually have a background on it. Maybe it doesn't.
It as a play test to see how it works out.
Okay.
So the first part of it.
Okay, it's fine. Okay then, so let's go here. We need to increase the size of this.
Going to implement it as a play test to see.
Okay, and then we can now undo this. That's for that one. Right, and we need to put in a few spaces there, and then to where is this image here? So this is the image that we need. So we're going to replace that, and I'm going to replace it with a stay, one of my stay positives symbols, like this one, hopefully. Right. See what that looks like.
I am going to implement it as a play test to see how it works out. So the first part of it is that...
Right, okay, so the other thing that I'm going to do here is that I'm going to import some actual play videos, video that I've got, and so we can actually see that that'll be almost like playing in the background over my head. So let's just bring it up here, and I'm just bringing across the video. That's all I need. I don't need anything else. Let's see what we've got here.
Magic points. So I have to say at this point, I haven't implemented this yet, but there is a situation about to occur in our actual play videos, which is about the Queen of the Harpies, that I am going to implement.
So this one now we're going to right click and scale it. That's fine.
It as a play test to see how it works out. So the first part of it is that...
Right. So I'm not liking this. I'm not liking that, so I'm going to get rid of it. Oops. Check out. Right, let's see whether or not that is actually working. Here it is. Check out our actual play videos on YouTube. That's what we'll do on there. I'm going to centralize that all. I'm going to get rid of that backspace there. I'm going to leave the fill as white, but I'm going to change the background to purple, 6312B3. I'm going to increase the border of it so it goes round the words. Hopefully you can see that now. And then I'm going to increase the curve of the corners like that. And then the final thing I'm going to do is increase the size of the text once I have selected it all. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I've kept it, I've kept it slightly opaque. I've left the opacity a little way down. I will want to move this. You just grab the controls, and it says check out. Our I think that hour needs to be out. Whoops. Oh, it actually selected it then when I wanted it to. Yeah, so our check out our actual play videos on YouTube. I might bring down that opacity just a little bit more, like that. Right, let's see what that looks like.
Harpies, that I am going to implement it as a play test to see how it works out. So the first part of it is that I really do think the casting of spells should take their toll on the physical and mental attributes of a character. So for this reason,
Right.
of a character. So
cut that. V, take that back down to 100% and stick a frame in it.
for this reason, I would impose a willpower check every time a spell is cast. Now, if they fail this check, then they would gain 1 level of fatigue and would have to do the usual things to get rid of it.
Okay, so here we're going to bring in a bit of a zoom in there. I'm also going to type in here willpower check. Check. Fail equals 1 level of fatigue. Oops, there. Okay, so this is all wrong in the coloring. So this, the fill on this one, we need to take off the background, we need to add a stroke, and we need to fill this one with the purple that we use, 6312B3. That's it, and we need to get the sign language, the sign bold one that I like. Increase that a bit. Oops. Like so. And then bring that up there, I think, and increase it just a little bit, like so. See what that looks like.
This check, then they would gain 1 level is cast. Now, if they check
so it needs to be here, and then it needs to be like
every time a spell is cast. Now, if they fail this check, then they would gain 1 level of fatigue and would have to do the usual things to get rid of it. Now, in order
rid of it. Okay. Cut. V. Come even tighter.
Now, in order to reflect the difficulty of casting spells, folk magic would be an easy roll, while sorcery would be a standard roll. However,
Okay. So here I want it to be back to 100. Did I get it in time for that? However,
standard roll. However, with the
okay. So here I'm going to take this writing. I'm going to paste it in here.
Now, in order to reflect the difficulty of casting spells,
onto the T for that. Folk magic equals easy.
folk magic would be an easy roll, while sorcery would be a standard roll.
Okay. Sorcery equals standard. Looks good so far.
However, with the sorcery spells, each two elements that are altered by shaping, i.e. say
Okay.
range and...
So we're going to copy this one and we're going to paste it in here. And we're actually going to move it because we've had it up here for a long time. Let's just each 2 points of shaping increases difficulty by 1 level. I'm going to do that with it, central it, and I'm going to move it to here. Have a look.
Two elements that are altered by shaping, i.e. say range and number of targets, this would increase the difficulty.
Each 2 elements altered by shaping. That's better. That's a better description of it. And here, look, I can actually press that button and it will center it in the
difficulty
frame
grade
for me.
Of that willpower check by 1. So if the sorcerer was using shaping points to change 2 aspects of a spell, then instead of it being a standard willpower check, it would be a hard willpower check. And theists don't.
Okay, so here we are going to cut this and we're going to come in there.
And theists don't get away easy either. Their spell.
Okay, paste this in.
Standard willpower roll, and with this increasing to hard if they're going to use their devotion pool to.
Okay, so here increase difficulty to hard if using devotion pool. Okay, and just to change it up a bit, I'm going to right align it and pop it back up at the top there. Apparently right align text is the hardest text to actually read.
And theists don't get away easy either. their spell casting would require a standard willpower roll, and with this increasing to hard if
Am I
they're
still
going to
streaming,
use
by
their
the way?
devotion pool to fuel that spell. Now, before you all start typing in the comments, there's one other additional exception to this proposed rule. In our campaign, we use fatigue in combat, so after 2 or 3 rounds, players or characters need to make an endurance check to
Thank
avoid
you,
one
Matt. I
level
was just
of
checking.
fatigue. Now, if casters were in combat casting spells, then I would not ask them to make this roll.
Okay, so here we're going to go back to 100.
Mainly because they would be gaining fatigue from casting the spells, and that seems to be a reasonable payoff. And let's face it, we don't want them to be asleep for the whole adventure. And that's it. So do let me know in the comments below what you think about my idea, whether you think it's too harsh, as well as what system you use in your campaign when casters reach 0 hit points.
Cut.
Next month, I'm going to have a look at where those magic points could come from. And yes, there's going to be some interesting ideas coming from that. Until next time, I hope all your opposed rolls are successful and award you with a well.
Okay, and then just here when I'm blabbering on, again, I'm just going to bring in my little subscribe sign. Oops. Scale.
From that. Until next time, I hope all your opposed rolls are successful and award you with a well-deserved special. Thanks for listening, everyone. Happy role-playing. See ya. Bye.
What happened at the end then? What? All of a sudden I saw it go like that at the end. What on earth? Oh, look. This is the freeze frame that I tried to put in. That's where it was. Oh, that is so funny. I'm going to leave that in. That is so funny. And then this is just see if you can see it. Hang on, let's.
Happy role-playing. See ya. Bye.
Oh, it's very quick. It's very quick. We can leave it. We can leave it. Oh, right. Now, before we do anything else with this, as you will know, Matt, what do I need to add next? There's something that needs to go across the top of it all. That's right, we need to add our adjustment layer now. And this is to make me look better. Because can you see, I mean, let's face it, I'm quite washed out there, aren't I? So let's give me a little bit of colour. So we're going to warm it up a bit. and I'm going to increase the saturation, not too much, maybe a little bit warmer, and then I'm going to increase the contrast just to make me pop, like that. So that's without it, and that's with it. It probably needs to come down a little bit. I do. And the only other thing that I like to do is put a little bit, just a tiny bit of vignette around it. Okay, I don't know if you can tell the difference. Let's have a look. So watch this top corner here. Watch this top corner. So that's without the mask on, the adjustment layer on. That is with the adjustment layer on. And hopefully you can tell what I've done is darkened it just around the edges. So it makes me pop in the middle. Just have a look at it again. So this is without, with it. Can you see that? And I think that looks absolutely perfecto. Now, there's one more thing that I have a real issue about, and that is background music. I never know whether or not there should be background music in it or not. I honestly don't know whether or not we should have background music or not. And I remember when I first did the podcast, thank you, yeah. When I first did the podcast, I had some background music on it, and I got so many complaints. So many. I've never thought about. See? You learn something when you're here. Right. Where is... I think it's in here. That... Is it that music that I put? So I never know whether or not I should put music in the background or not. Okay, and I literally never ever know what I should do. And I go through the same discussion over and over again. And I sort of like listen to some people's opinions about it. Did I put in? Yeah. So this is the music that I play at the behind the podcast ones. Let me just come into here. 0. You can't see this at the moment, but I'm just importing a sound file. Okay, let me just pop it here, say. Okay. So the first thing that we do quite naturally, of course, is that we take the sound and we reduce the, we say that it's music. and we take the clip down really low.
Implement it as a play test to see how it works out. So the first part of it is that I really do think the casting of spells should take...
This isn't the one I use. That's the intro one. There's a softer background one that I use. Let's see, where is it? Imported files. No. No, it's not that one. I wonder if it's in podcasting 2. I have a soundtrack that I play in the background for the... I can't see where I've put it at all. That one, sort of like the Runaway one, is like the introduction. Hang on, let's just open it and see what it looks like. Oh no, I don't.
And sharing your thoughts. So the final element of my talk to myself plan is to talk about things that have happened. This is...
So I just put this at the beginning and end.
Hello and welcome to the In Wheels Interval, a monthly podcast that focuses on strategies for reaching your potential as a successful streamer. In this month's episode, I am going to share some strategies that you can use when streaming to 0 viewers.
So this is like the opening, and that's it. So, okay,
There's a toll on the physical and mental attributes of a character. So for this reason, I would impose a willpower check every time a spell is cast. Now, if they fail this check, then they would gain 1 level of fatigue and would have to do the usual things to get rid of it. Now, in order to reflect the difficulty of casting spells, folk magic would be an easy roll, while sorcery would be a standard roll. However, with the sorcery spells, each 2 elements that are altered by shaping, i.e. say range and number of targets, this would...
I lost some wording, Dad. Where's this? That's... I've lost a whole load of wording there. Look, folk magic equals easy, sorcery equals standard. Oh, what have I done there now?
Fail this check, then they would gain 1 level of fatigue and would have to do the usual things to get rid of it. Now, in order to reflect the difficulty of casting spells, folk magic would be an easy roll, while sorcery would be a standard roll. However, with the sorcery spells, each 2 elements that are altered by shaping, i.e. say range and number of targets, this would increase the difficulty grade of that willpower check by 1. So if the sorcerer was using shaping points to change 2 aspects of a spell, then instead of it being a standard willpower check, it would be a hard willpower check. And theists don't get away easy either. Their spell casting would require a standard willpower roll, and with this increasing to hard if they're going to use their devotion pool to fuel that spell. Now, before you all start typing in the comments, there's one other additional exception to this proposed rule. In our campaign, we use fatigue in combat, so after 2 or 3 rounds, players or characters need to make an endurance check to avoid 1 level of fatigue. Now, if casters were in combat casting spells, then I would not ask them to make this roll, mainly because they would be gaining fatigue from casting the spells, and that seems to be a reasonable payoff. And let's face it, we don't want them to be asleep for the whole adventure. And that's it. So do let me know in the comments below what you think about my idea, whether you think it's too harsh, as well as what...
Brilliant. That's a wrap. Okay then, so I'm going to leave that there. I've just saved it all. I'm going to head off now and then export it, which is not fun to watch at all, but I hope that's given you a little bit of background. Thank you for everybody who called in. I will be live later on tonight at 6 o'clock. When I'll be looking at another role-playing game off my shelf. So do come along and see that. I'll be on my different computer then. Yeah, so do come along to that. Thank you to Matt and Michael and Robert. Robert, I hope your adventure goes well. Good luck with that. And thank you, Michael, for popping in during a meeting. And Matt, forever, as always, thank you for your support. Okay, I'm going to see you all later on. So yeah, stay safe and healthy. I'm going to go and watch a bit of the Queen's funeral now. Feel patriotic. So I'll catch you all later.